And you're originally from Nigeria?
Yes.
Been in the States for quite a while.
Yes, 16 years.
Well, you got a documentary coming up, and it's called Future for Felons. Let me first ask you, when is the documentary, and when can we go see it?
Well, the documentary is titled 13, but we, Future for Felons, the ones conducting it. And it's going to be this Saturday, the 23rd of September, and it starts at 12:30 p.m.
Is it free?
Yes, it is free.
All right, tell us about the documentary and the point it's trying to get across.
Well, 13th is based on the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. And for those who don't know, the 13th Amendment states that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, we won't talk about that briefly, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. So basically what that means is when you are being convicted and you're being punished for a crime, then you are a slave to the criminal justice system and ultimately to the government. And right after that it says, when a party shall have been duly convicted. So in this country there is a presumption of innocence, but not a presumption of mercy. Presumption of innocence means that we're going to do everything, we're going to give you a due process. We're going to do everything in our power, in law, to make sure that the innocent does not get convicted for the wrong crime. That's one of the worst things that can happen in this system. Yes. Even though it does happen, but the idea is we're gonna do everything in our power to make sure that that doesn't happen. However, once a conviction has been given, there is not a presumption of mercy. Now you are criminalized, and to criminalize is to dehumanize. Okay, criminalization is the opposite of humanization. So if you criminalize someone, then you are dehumanizing them. You are that is a problem, because if you're supposed to punish the crime but love the criminal. You're supposed to punish the offense but love the offender. Yeah. Separate them.
Yeah, Trey, you understand that? Okay, that's right. It's going to show that. And I think too, Ime, a lot of times, for instance, let's say you're convicted, and once you get out, you try to go back as a citizen, rehabilitated, they say, and go back out, but then things are still held against you. Maybe you want to get an apartment. You
right.
You're a felon.
Right.
You want to get a job. You have to realize you're a felon. No, we don't want you.
Right.
So you're saying you're trying to get out. You're trying to get back on. You're trying to change your life, but the way the system is, it makes it difficult.
Yes, absolutely. And what this documentary does is it exposes the incentive for that. It is called the prison industrial complex, which is this economic model of mass incarceration, along with all the companies that profit from mass incarceration. So it is to their benefit that felons fail, and the system is set up for felons to fail, so that they, in most cases, will reoffend and come back to being incarcerated.
Yeah.
Fill up the prisons, build more prisons.
Yeah.
More money. Every time a prison is being built, I mean, American Bond Bail Coalition, Amarak, Centurion, a bunch of companies have shares in this thing.
Yeah,
we can see it at the Jonesboro Public Library at 12:30 in the round table room.
Yeah, it's a round room, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting, but basically you feel like the justice system or the prison system is in it for profit. There's a lot of money to be made, not doing enough to rehabilitate once you get out and everything. There's a revolving door.
Yes, that's exactly what happens. And in fact, this documentary goes in depth. It goes from Norton, President Nixon, President Nixon, to Reagan and to Bill Clinton, and the 3 strikes you're out. Mandatory minimums, and serve 85% of your time. It talks about all of that. It even talks about Bill Clinton. Well, Bill Clinton is there apologizing for the federal crime bill that he signed in 1994. He said that was a wrong bill to sign, and it's on there. And his wife had she been elected, was going to end mass incarceration. That was one of the things that she was going to end, was mass incarceration, had she been elected. Anyways, so the documentary is really, it goes back, it talks about systems of oppression, where it started out with from slavery to convict leasing, to the Black Codes, to the Jim Crow laws, now to mass incarceration. Yeah. So mass incarceration, in a sense, has become the new Jim Crow laws, and there are 5% of the world's population is here in the United States. However, 25% of the world's prison population also here in the United States. The United States is the leading nation in incarceration. We spend more money on incarceration than education. We are the land of the free, but we have the highest rate of incarceration.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know you could talk a lot about this, and there's a lot of great information, but go down and see the documentary.
Yes.
Saturday at Public Library in the Round.
Yes.
12:30. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
The Jonesboro Community Breakfast, Fat City Steak and